My name is John Bass. I'm a Gambian, and I'm from the western part of the Gambia, from the district of Kombo North, and then I live in Lamin. I'm a footballer by profession, and I was a defender. I played for the Gambia national team and for the under 23, the younger categories also. I represented the Gambia in various occasions. So my club is Brikama United. When I started football, like every other kid in the Gambia, we start playing football in the streets, because there are not many academies here. So you start playing football in the streets, and then from there you graduate and play other tournaments. And then when you get lucky, you are selected by first division teams or second division teams, and then that is where your whole story will start. And then you will get to be selected by the senior national team or the young junior categories of the national team. And for my case, that is how it has been, playing football in the streets, and then get caught up in the local Nawetans and local tournaments. Then I got selected scouted by the Gambia Ports Authority. It's a first division team, so that's where I had my spell. I stayed there for 4 years, and then after that I moved on to Brikama United. Brikama United is my current club. That's where I continued my progress until I got my national call in 2018 by Coach Sangdong, and then I was invited to join the national team for a training camp in Morocco. So that's where my national career began. So I went with the national team, came back, and then I was again called, to represent the Gambia again. We were to play Benin in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. I went for the first leg. So Benin was supposed to come for the second leg, and then we were called, to resume training. So in that interval, my club, Brikama United, we are also preparing for the I will call it the FA Cup. So it was a final. So, but then during the preparations, when I come to training, I start feeling, some discomfort in training. I feel my legs burning, getting tired very easily. So I decided to go to the hospital, and then that was the turning point of my career. That was when I was asked to go for scanning. I went for a scanning, and then from there, and that was how I was, the doctors finalized that, I had renal failure. So I had to, bear the pain, and then, it has been difficult, but that was it. So I had problems, taking it that, my football career is over now. So I had to focus on my health now, which is more important. So that's how my football, collapsed, and then, but here I am today. Being in a career that was progressing very smoothly, in fact, I had my agent, who was preparing me, to go overseas, realize my dreams, I think that was harder to accept, because, it was all coming good, it was all coming good. It was beautiful, everybody was encouraging me. Everybody was happy about my improvement, because I've worked very hard, for a long time for it, So now that I'm beginning to reap, what I saw, and then, all this came. So it was very hard to accept the fact that, my career had to stop, Yeah, it was really hard and difficult, and it was very painful. Yeah, when I was diagnosed of renal failure, so they told me that, you have to, the only option as of now, that is to have the process of dialysis. So, which I accepted. So I had to compose myself, and then I, went to the hospital, and then I started the treatment process. Upon arrival, they told me that, they had to fix a catheter on my left arm, and then the catheter will be used, to do the work. I'll be connected to a machine. The machine does the work of the kidney. So the blood is taken from your body, goes to the machine. The machine has to filter it and then gets it back into your body. So that is the treatment process. So I had to go to the hospital three times in the week, which is very, very, very hectic, very painful, very difficult, because every day you go to the hospital, you will be connected to the machine for like 4 hours, and then you go home very tired and weak, you know. So that is how the process started. But then I asked the doctor if there was another option, or another treatment plan. He told me that the only option is to have a transplant. And then he explained the whole story to me, issue that is, you need to have someone donate you a kidney, then you transplant it, and then you can live your normal life again. So that was when I had to involve my family, my friends, my club, that this is what is at hand, and this is what needs to be done. So we started the search for a portable donor, who will avail himself, who will be ready to donate, and then it was very much difficult, because to find someone, take an organ from them and then give you, it's really, difficult, So at first I thought it was impossible, but I trusted God. I thank God, because you see, sometimes life without God, it's just boring, it's just discouraging. So I honestly, I held on to my prayers, and then one fine day I got a call from my cousin, and he told me, well, I want to come in and then, donate my kidney. I was very much surprised, but I thank God, for him. When he came, he had to go to the hospital, have himself checked up whether he is healthy and okay to donate. We were the same blood group, so those were the requirements. And so he went to the hospital, and then thank God it was okay. And then we had a cross match, and it was also okay. Then the next thing was, to raise funds for me to go for overseas treatment. That is for a transplant. So that's another part of the treatment, because it required a lot of money. You're talking nothing less than like $20,000. Which was very much looking at the situation that we are in, and then the Gambia, so to raise like over $1 million is very difficult. So then again, my club came in, my family came in, the Football Federation, the Ministry of Health, even internationally, because there was one club from Senegal, Casa Sport, they were on a pre-season tour. So they came, and then my club explained to them that we are raising funds for one of our players who is sick, so we want you to collaborate with you, so to raise funds. So they accepted. So they made a big game, they made a big game, and then a lot of money was raised to support me. And the Football Federation also came in, because I was a national team player, so they played their part. And then the health ministry, because of I'm having treatment at the hospital, so they also came in, and then other family members outside, abroad, friends, and then the money was raised, and then so I was supposed to go to India, to have my transplant. So it was me, my donor, who is my cousin, and then an escort. So it's three of us. So that is how we left for India, to go and have this transplant. Upon arrival in India, so it's another different culture, different country, different people, and but they were very friendly. They were very friendly. So when I got there, we stayed in a hotel, and then the first day we reported to the hospital. We asked for what to do. We provided the necessary papers, the necessary details, all that we had to do. And then they told us, that we have to wait, because there were so many other people waiting on the line, to have their transplant. So every day I'll go to the hospital, have myself check my weight, check my. But I continued my dialysis. I was having my dialysis in India. I did that for almost 1 month. It continued whilst I was waiting for my transplant. So when the day was due, and the doctor called me to the hospital again, told me, about, trying to sensitize me, educate me on the process of the surgery. He told me that there are chances, that you won't make it, and there are chances, but the higher chances that you will make it, but there are chances that you might lose a lot of blood, the kidney might reject, and then you can even lose your life, But again, as I said before, I trusted God, So I went back and prayed, and then there was time. It was now time for us to go for the transplant. So they took us to ICU, and of course during the surgery you cannot realize that, because you will be, you'll be kind of, injected. You'll be sleeping. You'll be somewhere else, whilst the surgery is on. So when we woke up the next day, there was, when I woke up, I wanted to move, but I couldn't. I felt some pain, and I looked and then I saw, oh, something has happened, and then that was it. I asked for my cousin, and they showed me where he was. Our rooms were opposite. He waved at me and said, it's good. I was glad, even though I was in pain, but I was happy that, like, there is a revival. I was happy that, I have got myself again. I have got another chance to live. So that was it. They kept us in the hospital for 6 to 7 days. Then we went back to our hotel. During this time it was all difficult because, after the surgery you had a lot of pain. You cannot even to walk was a problem because the stitches were still fresh. The wound was still fresh. And then you need to be very careful. But it lasted for only 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, you could move. You could do a lot of things, by your own. So that was it. And then the doctor started preparing us, to come back. So that process was, every day we had to go to the hospital to check your blood pressure, to check if the new kidney is functioning, to take your medications, And then my cousin had to be on a special medication after for 2 weeks. So after that, he was okay. He had to live his normal life. So, but for me, I was given certain medication. Some will last for 6 months. Some might stop later, but there are others. You have to continue drinking them to make sure that they suppress your immune system from fighting the new kidney. As it is not part of your body. So that was it. So they prepared us, and so that was January of 2019. It was January of 2019. Then February, we came back. February 2019. So we came back, and then I continued my recovery. So the recovery was very tough because when I came back, the medicines, the Gambia, we don't have the proper facilities. We don't have easy access to medication. Patients suffer here a lot. Some of them you have to go to Senegal, Dakar, to get your medicine. So when I came, that was the issue I met. That was the other trouble that I had to face. So I have to order my medicines from India. So when they come, and then I pay a lot of money for it. I have to pay every month. I'll have to raise like $15,000 just to buy my medication. So it was difficult. It had to go on. It had to go on. There was a point in time. I spent almost. My account was red because I spent all that I had, all that I saved. Because I have to buy the medicines just to make sure that I keep this kidney safe. So that was the treatment process. But then again, before we came back, that was in February of 2019. So before we came back, I sat my cousin down. I told him that we have been through a lot. We see the pain. When I started dialysis in Banjul, I lasted there for only 4 months. But some were there for like 5 years, some were there 4 years, some have passed away. So I told him that all this has happened, and then people are still, getting sick because of, we don't know the risk involved with kidney failure. We don't know the causes, So I said, we started making our research there. So I told him when we get home, I want to start a foundation, and this foundation will be based on sensitizing people, telling people more about this kidney disease, how it affects people, and the necessary, need for people to be going to the hospital, having themselves checked regularly, because the kidney disease, I later learned that, it doesn't affect you, or it doesn't hit you until it is at the end stage, because when it starts with you, you don't know, you are not going to the hospital for checkup, you won't know your kidneys need help. So unless you go to the hospital, having regular checkups, And then also exercise it helps a lot, because we know that the kidneys they filter all whatever we drink or we take into our body. It is the kidneys that filter it, and then we urinate it. It is the kidneys that regulate our blood pressure. It is the kidneys that regulate most part of our system. So it is very much important. But people like my people in the Gambia, they don't know this. So we want to go back and then sensitize the people, tell them that this is what is involved in the kidney. It is important for us to be having daily exercises. It is important for us to be going to the hospital for having regular checkups. It is important for us to know what we eat, because some of these things that we eat and drink, are the same ones that affect our kidneys. So he welcomed the idea. And then he told me that, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. But he told me, how are you going to go about it? I said, well, I think I'll just call back home. And then tell them that, share my idea with them. So when we get back home, we see where we can start from. So that was when I called my coach, my coach at Brikama United. So I told him the idea. He welcomed it, and then he brought some people in, and then that was how it started. Before I came, I met a team in place. So I came and then met them, told them about it. So they welcomed the idea. So we started having meetings, and then that was how it all started. And then we started to call offices, institutions, schools, even the media. We started having our outreach, go to the people, go to the schools, talk to the students, what they eat, what they do, what they need to do, having regular. Because in the Gambia here, there is something that people are not careful of. People rarely go to the hospital unless they feel sick, which is not good. It doesn't mean that you have to be sick before you go to the hospital. Sometimes there are sicknesses or diseases that live with us. They don't come up just quickly like that. So it takes time. But I think if you have been going to the hospital, having your regular checkups, you can fight this disease easily before they become a problem. So it is part of our work. And then that is what we have been doing. We have been doing it very well, because each time we go out, we always realize that people are learning, and then they are getting the idea. And then most of the time they will tell us, oh, I have a brother, or I have a cousin, who wants to complain of this type of the same issue. So we will take the number, communicate, and then try to see if we can help the patient. So we have visited other patients. We visited the patients at the hospital. The ones I left there, I went there because I knew if they see me whole again, that will be a source of inspiration. It will motivate them. It will help them to fight, because the kidney disease is a battle. So I went there, spoke with them, gave them courage. So even still now, I used to go there, talk to them. So now, as a foundation, we are still very young. We just launched the foundation last November. So we are still very young. So we want to, we are looking for partners. We are looking for sponsorship, to make sure that, we because anytime I communicate with the patients, I feel what they are feeling, because I've been through it. I know how it feels. So I make sure that, when I communicate to these patients, I tell them, okay, let me see what I can do. So I'll go out there, try to communicate to a lot of some people, and then see how best I can help. So this is what I've been doing, also with my career. My club has now, because I cannot play again, so they have now taken me to work with the team, as a trainer. So which is very good. So I do my football stuff, and then also for the foundation.
My name is Lamin. I'm the head coach of Brikama United and head coach of John Barn. I was with John Barn for quite more than 5 years, playing with my team. I started him from one team, GPA, Gambia Ports Authority, and then brought him here to support my team. It's a community team the team is owned by our community. And then eventually he felt sick, and then he called me that he's sick. At that time, they communicated me. The national team head coach called me that we need John Bass to come and play. We're going to have a test match in Tunisia, Morocco. We are going for a camp. I called John. He said he will make it, but I know he have the passion to go and play. But he was definitely very sick at that moment. He couldn't make it that trip. So this is how we started to, look for, fund for him to treatment. And then it was difficult. It was very, very tough moment. He goes to dialysis every 3 days. Every 3 days he goes to dialysis, and then he spent a lot of money on dialysis. So what we did is we played a test game with one of the Senegalese team in Senegal, Casa Sport. We have the Jam Park Stadium, and then we raised more than $30,000, and then gave him for his dialysis process. So this is how we started, and then going, knock the doors, go to the federation, knock good philanthropies, until he went for the treatment in India. And then upon the treatment, successful treatment, he called me, coach, I want to build a foundation that will create awareness of this kidney disease. Do I pass through this hurdle? I have chance to be treated. Possible others will not have that chance to be treated. So if we create a foundation that will help sensitize what will do, what kidney does, what type of symptoms, and then if you have kidney. So this idea came from him when he was in India. So I definitely welcome the idea. I told him this, I will support you from day one. This is how I try to contact some of the friends to share ideas about this foundation. And they will launch the foundation. And now the foundation is, up and running. He called me, he said, coach, I want to play football. I told him, come on. He said, no, I'm fit, I want to play football. I want to go back to the field. But I know the passion he has for the game. He has passion for the game. I told him, you might have career as a coach than career as a football. So left to me alone, I will bring you to be coach. I registered him. Before he felt sick, I know he have future. So I registered him in West Coast Region Football Coaches Association, to be a member of the coaches association while he was playing, because he have this quality of a leader. So this is how I told him, for me, left to me alone, be the coach than be a player, because your career in football is short, but your career in coaching, you can go for quite a long time. Even if you are old, you can still keep coaching. So this is how I managed to talk to my board to bring him back to Brikama United and then start coaching. So they all embrace the idea, they all welcome the idea. So this is how we are now working, and then he's definitely doing good. John, when he was playing active football, he was the most committed player that we have. Discipline, have manner, he's respectful. Everywhere he goes, he's down to earth. So it's a person. I don't know how to describe this person. It's very calm, honestly. Not because it's because of this program. He's a very calm, very committed in whatever he's doing. You see, after that, every day he is here on time. So he's the most committed player that we had before, and then now he's becoming the most committed coach too. So he is definitely a leader that everyone will be looking for. So he's still leading the team, and then he's doing good. Yeah.
We are still at the level of creating awareness. So because we want the people to be aware first, and then we can come to the idea of raising funds, which of course we are also doing. Because we have a GoFund account. We have a GoFund account, which we will open and then try to raise funds. So whatever we raise, like if for example we have 2 patients that have donors and they are ready to go for transplant, so we can chip in as a foundation. because as of now, as I said before, we are still a young foundation, so we don't have that money yet. So, but whatever we raise out of the Go Fund, so we divide it between the patients. So the families too, the families of these patients too will get involved and then see how they can raise funds so that we support the patients. So as of now, that is where we are. And also, we didn't organize a football tournament yet, but we before the COVID, because the COVID has really affected us a lot. When the COVID came, we couldn't walk. So all I was doing is, just to go and visit the patients and then talk with them. But before the COVID, we wanted to organize a very big show, which we had a lot of Gambian artists who wanted to come in and help. So we went, it was almost done. We had the venue, we printed out our tickets, we were selling our tickets. Then this COVID came, so everything collapsed again. So, but we are hoping, after, when this COVID goes away, you have those fundraisings, we organize games. In fact, last year, our professionals, some of the Gambian professionals in abroad, when they came, I met with them. So I wanted this year when they come, for us to organize a big game, because when they are in town, everybody wants to see them. So we wanted to organize a big game here in Brikama. So we play with them and then, raise some funds, then give it back to the patients. So, and also as to how the international people abroad can help, or any other person. We have Facebook. We have a Facebook account. We have Instagram and Twitter. So I think we need to we need to be wide. We need to be broad. We need to be heard, because these are patients who really need help. We have like 3 or 4 of them. Just this morning, just before you came, I was talking with some parents, so usually on a daily basis, I communicate with them and then, try to see how best we can raise funds for them. So we also want in as much partners we can have, so that they will also help, because the money is not easy. And then even after the transplant, you still need money, because you have to buy your own medication. You have to live on medication for the rest of your life, like I do. Every morning when I wake up, I have to take 2 types of medicine in the morning and the evening. So every month you have to buy medicine, and then you live on a special diet. You live on a different diet. So all that is money. In the Gambia here, it's very difficult. Seeing how people live. You only eat rice. You only eat bread. So, and then those are not really very good for a transplant patient. So most of the time, like for me, since I came back from India, most of the time I had to buy my food from the supermarket, from the mini market, or I go to the local market and get some fruits for myself, and then you are earning, less than $200 a month. So that cannot sustain you. You cannot sustain you on your food and your medication. It cannot. So it's difficult, but also sometimes you have friends who will help, but they will not, that is not guaranteed. There are times you will call and they will tell you, this time around I'm broke. So it's really very difficult. But I thank God that I'm here today, and I thank God that I'm able to represent the patients. I'm able to fight for them. I thank God that He has given me the strength to come back to the field, see my teammates, work with them. It's very good. It makes me forget about the memory of the past, and then trying to look onto how I develop myself in the football stuff, and then also how I can establish a very good foundation where we will have patients going for treatment and coming back safely, and then being able to sustain themselves and living their normal lives again. I have a big dream. I even want, even if we can have a hospital in the Gambia, you will see that patients don't need to travel that far, to go and have their treatment, whilst it can be done in the Gambia here. So I only hope that we can be big enough, as a foundation, for us to achieve all these things, and then even lessen the sickness of the kidney disease and many other diseases, because since I came back from India, now the number of patients have increased. So we had to, we need to grow, we need to grow, and then continue the awareness, because that is what the people need. They need information. They need to understand that I can eat this, but I cannot eat it in excess. They need to know that I need time for myself. They need to know I need to rest. I need to drink a lot of water. Here, I will tell you, you can walk around and then follow somebody from morning till evening. They won't drink water because when you ask them, they'll tell you, "I'm not thirsty." But people need to know that you don't have to drink water when you are thirsty. Sometimes you have to rehydrate. It is very important for the kidneys, but people don't know it. And then there are other medications that we have here. They are NSAIDs. They are not good medicines. I'm not saying they are not good in that sense, but they are. If you consume them a lot, they harm the kidney. So this is part of our work. So that's why we also have a team of doctors. So when we are going out for an outreach, we go with doctors. So who will speak on the health issues. I only go and then tell them my experience. How I fought the disease, how I was successful, showing them that if I am successful, you too can be successful.
John was sick. When he was sick, he was very traumatized and he was very suffering. He was suffering seriously, vomiting day in, day out, diarrhea, all those kinds of things. I've been going through with him all those times. So seeing John suffering. So when we went to the hospital, first it was at MRC. That's where we realized that he was having a kidney failure. From there, they refer us to Banjul. When we reached at Banjul, they told us that he need to do some dialysis, like each and every 2 days or so. Yes, but before that, John hardly get something to eat. Like when he eats something, within 2 hours, he will vomit it. He was very weak. So all those times I was with him, all those sufferings, I feel it, you understand, because he was very close to me. He was very close to all of us. So seeing him suffering like that, it makes me cry sometimes. Sometimes I'll get inside my room and cry, because sometimes I normally say that, oh, this is the end of John, because the way he looks, all his eyes are pale, and it's very, 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 very devastating to see John. And knowing John before his illness, you will see John and you would say, like when you don't see John for a while, when you see him the time he was sick, you will think that that was the end of him. Seriously, that was not even in my mind, like I was the person who should give him kidney. You see, I was helping him, like going to the hospital and all those stuff, but I was doing my stuff also. But I was the least to know that I would be the one. You understand? But I was doing my own stuff. Later he called me that he needed a transplant, a kidney transplant. He told me that I can go to the hospital and check whether I'm the same blood type with him. So after I went, he told me that, they told me that you are the same blood type with me, so you can give me a kidney. By then, I was having an interview with another betting company, which I supposed to be employed. But later I told them that I went there, I told them that my brother is sick. He needs somebody who will give him a kidney to survive, to have a second chance. So they told me, are you going to be the one? I told them yes. Well, all of them were just shocked. They told me, so seriously, you are going to give him the kidney? I told him yes, because I have been through a lot with him. Seeing him suffering like this, I think it should be the end if I have the chance to give him a kidney. So there we went, and I told him that, I will give him the kidney. But then it was like, for me, it was something new, like kidney. I first have to Google, yes, and see. But after we went Googling, and I realized that it is fair to give him a kidney and you will survive the same life and you will be healthier. So I decided to give him a kidney without even thinking about it. But though people are saying You know, when you give kidney, you will like some people, they normally say that like your reproduction system will, like it will not be function like that well. But seeing John himself and the society we are, the community we are, John is a role model there. If you see like people playing like in Daranka, it's because of John. He normally give them motivation to play football. So if I should leave all that die in vain, it seems like I'm not making my part also. So I decided to give him my kidney. Now during the operation, they take me to a small room. I first asked John, where is John? They told me that you will see John when everything is done. Okay, so after the operation, I think I was first to be inside the ICU. So I look around, I didn't see John. The second time I was looking around, I saw John. I waved at him like three times. She couldn't see him, but the third time, she waved back at me. Then I put my thumb up like this. Are you okay? He returned it back again. Yes, he's okay. That the time I get relief. Then I was very happy. I feel no changes because it's just like the same. I've been doing the same work I was doing. I in fact most of my friends told me that I have some weight in me, like I build up some weight. But I don't know. But they do tell me that, boy, you are building up some weight. Seriously, like you have 2 kidney and 1 kidney. It doesn't matter because seeing me standing, nobody will tell you that I'm having a kidney. In the Gambia, this kidney disease is seriously killing people, but it needs some awareness for people to be told that this thing can be done without even dying. Because you know, in our Gambian society, like when you suppose even to give somebody blood, it normally get some problem like, well, I will not give you blood, maybe I will be affected on something. But to tell people the truth, it's like saving a life, it's giving somebody the second chance. Seriously, in my society, I've seen the changes that John have did after the operation. Like one of my friends told me that John is helping her friend also. She's having this retinal failure. John is helping her and advising her. You see, me doing that, I'm not saying like I help John, but maybe God gives me that strength and that will to do so that he also will help other people. Helping doesn't mean that they need to pay you. Some people, like if you need like somebody maybe transplant, they must ask you for money or something. Helping, like for me, I help John. Who knows, maybe someone outside will come and help me. Who knows, maybe I will be sick and having the same problem, someone outside will come and help me. So you see, when for example, I didn't help John and everything was done, John happens to die. Who will help our society? Who will give them this news that kidney kills? Who will give them this news that this kind of food causes kidney failure? Who will give them this news that without doing this and doing this, it will cause your kidney to damage? But now people are beginning to realize that with John's message, people are realizing that this kidney disease is something real and it's killing people. So I have done my part. So I will urge everybody also to do his part in this fight to end this kidney disease.
Well, when I see him, we often see. It was just yesterday 2 days ago we were together. So when I see him, I always feel him inside me, because there's something out of him and then inside me. So sometimes when I touch my kidney, it's like I'm touching him, because it is because of him that I'm seated here today. Even though he has, it's God, but he allowed himself, to save a life, because that is what he told me. And then when we go out for outreach, he will tell the people, it is because of the impact I am making, in my community, especially. That is why, he was not ready for that to waste away. So he could not watch me die. He could not watch me suffer. So that was why he came and then, and donated his kidney. So when I see him, I'm always very happy. I always remember him in my prayers, and I'm sure he will be fine. He's a strong guy. What he did, it is very rare to come across that. It's very rare, Yeah. But I thank God that it is also through him that, at least now I can say we have, 3 or 4 patients who want to go for transplant. Because when we consult these people, we sit down and talk with them, tell them that, you don't need to think about, your life. You have 2 kidneys, you give one and then you are still safe. It is because of him that, people are getting aware, people are understanding that, even if I donate my kidney, I'm still okay. My message to the world is, we should live to care. We should make sure we are always there for the next person, because one should not always think about yourself. Because if everybody was thinking about themselves, I would not be sitting here today. If my cousin Vincent, was not thinking about himself, he was thinking only about himself, I will not be here today. So it's very important to think about the next person. It is also important to stay safe and stay healthy, because if you stay healthy, it is not only about you. If you are healthy, the next person might need you, the next patient might need you. Vincent was healthy, that is why I'm here today. So if you're keeping yourself healthy, it's keeping the world healthy. So I always say that the greatest wealth is health. So if you are healthy, you can achieve anything in life. You can attain anything in life. So I think we stay safe, we stay healthy, and then we can protect each other. We can live a better world.